Welcome back, everybody. This is Allan Handelman on the great rock and roll radio station you are listening to every Sunday night with the most interesting people we can find, and Moran is one of those people. Detective, well-respected detective with a background in law enforcement from Beverly Hills. He's on with us. We're going to go to your call, 762-5825. A note to affiliates, we are going just a tad over about 5 minutes, just so you know that. Suicide, Tom?
Well, I don't know the exact number. It's somewhere between 5 and 10 to the best of my knowledge. I know that about 2 months ago when I breaking this case, that very day, some young man put a shotgun in his mouth and called out to his friends, "Look, just like Kurt Cobain," and that makes me really sad. That bothers me a lot. I can't sit by believing what I honestly believe in my heart and watch kids killing themselves over this.
I'll tell you, if you read the material, and I read everything you faxed me on Wednesday night, I couldn't sleep. It was so many inconsistencies, and you wrote this very well. And, people say, well, why haven't I heard this? Well, MTV, hours of stuff they did with Tom, but they're sitting on it.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it yet because of pressure from what? Geffen Records? We don't know. And I'm sure I'll get my share of pressure. When Tom Likas went on, he had to do a disclaimer after the show the next day. Gil Gross, the very when you on, he had to talk. He had lawyers on the East Coast, lawyers on the West Coast calling him, saying that he was aiding and abetting by having you on. But yet, what did you say? They didn't even ask. Yeah. Well, what did he say? No, they didn't care. They acted like you were in danger.
Right.
The calls. We got a ton here. 1-800-762-5825. Let's go to Dale listening to Rock 101, Greenville, Spartanburg. Dale, you're on.
As always, Alan, truly fascinating.
What's your question, man?
I'd like to know how's Kurt Cobain's mother's coping with all this?
Good question.
Well, there's a short story that goes along with Wendy. I broke this news. Wendy, I believe Courtney was using Wendy as a front person for her, and Wendy went out publicly and made a statement that Tom granted minutes of fame and that they're satisfied with the job the police department did and along those lines. I've noticed recently, since I made a statement to that Wendy isn't saying anything anymore for whatever that's worth. I don't know what it means. But
well, at one point, you two wanted to hook up, to you two. Then Courtney whispered something in her ear, and she got real cold to you.
Yeah, when I went up to the house, I was sitting at the table talking to Courtney, and she got up to go get a cigarette over. I didn't know who she was at the time. She was wearing a black T-shirt that said "Grunge is dead" on it. She was real friendly, and she said, "So you're the investigator?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. What do you think?" I didn't know who she was, so I wasn't going to talk a whole lot. And she says, "Well, I'm Kurt's mom, and I don't know. It just seems like something's kind of strange. Dylan tell you about the greenhouse, And Courtney was standing a ways away, and she kind of looked back over her shoulder. And I basically told Wendy, "Well, if you can talk to you, maybe in a couple of days we can talk." And she says, "Yeah, that'd be good." And as she walked away, Courtney walked over and threw her arms around her and whispered something to her. And then Wendy walked away. The rest of the day, Wendy was just kind of evasive and not very friendly to me at all.
So you have no idea what she whispered in her.
And when I went to the house a couple of days later, I asked the lady that came to the door if she could go down and tell Wendy I was here and that I wanted to talk to her. Came back up and said, "Well, Wendy says she has nothing to say to you."
Dale, does this look a little suspicious to you?
Oh, very suspicious.
All right, Dale, thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. Let's go to Dennis listening to Fox 102 in Columbia. Hi, Dennis.
Yeah, how you doing? Great show.
Thank you.
Listen, Tom, have you had any input or any comments from the surviving about all this investigation and everything?